got pretty. Rita has a pretty one too. She's got a design on it. It's printed.
When you're ready, we're going to get started on our backs on the mat. So just get comfortable, lie on your back, feet are relaxed, arms by your side.
You get an F.
Here you are. And you can have the soles of the feet on the floor, or you can have them straight out. And just concentrate on the breath.
You can turn off that TV. You can turn it off.
She knows what remote control is?
You can turn it off, Chris, if you want. I don't want you stepping on it.
But this is super shiny.
Everyone just continue to rest. And while in this position, just take some deep breaths. You can have the hand, one hand on the belly and one hand on the chest. And I'm happy to have you back here today. As you know, I am still in yoga teacher training. I did about 2 hours of training over the weekend, so I'm happy to get in another 30 minutes with you today. Do some work on the back for a few minutes while we're taking these deep breaths, that pranayama breath. So inhale at the count of 3, 1, 2, 3, and take a big exhale. Let's do one more big inhale. Then take a big breath and let it out. While in this position, we're going to just take hold of the right knee and pull it into the chest. You're still on your back. Pull it gently into the chest. Just feeling what you feel here. Maybe you start to circle the ankle, moving in one direction and then the other direction. Maybe you try and gently pull in a little bit more. And then on an exhale, you can let the leg again meet the earth. So your right leg is down. And you can shake out that foot, shake out that ankle a little bit. And on an inhale, let's bring the left knee into the chest, providing a little stretch in the left hip socket area. Again, you can start to move the ankle in one direction and in the other direction. If it feels good, you can start to move the knee and the hip around a little bit just to provide a little more movement. Make sure to go in both directions when you're doing this. And you can come back to neutral. Maybe one more gentle pull in before left leg drops down to the earth. Both legs are on the earth. Maybe shake out the left leg a little bit, shake them both out. And when you're ready, we'll take both knees into the chest and start to rock a bit, giving the spine a little massage. So you can rock side to side and we'll massage the spine. Okay, and then we'll meet with legs back down on the earth. If you have your strap near you, we're going to do the stretch that we did last week with just using our strap to put around the instep of your foot. And I'll demonstrate as soon as I make sure everyone has a strap. I'm going to use this band as a strap. But we're going to start on the right foot. And we're just going to put that strap either around the ball or and just grab hold of it. And that is where we're going, where you see Dad, Dr. Scott, where we're going. We want to be reclined and we want to give the foot a stretch in the air. So it may be easier to get on your back first, then stretch, but pull as much as you need to feel a nice hamstring stretch. In this position, you want to go ahead and flex the foot. And good, you guys look good, very good. Keep it up there. I just want to take a look. Michaela, try and keep your whole back on the floor. Okay, you look like you turn to the right. Good. Everybody looks great. So you want to make sure, you don't want it to hurt, but if you're flexing and you're pulling on your strap, you should feel a stretch in that right hamstring. You don't need to go any further. You can keep it still. We'll count down 3, 2, 1, 0, and we'll let the leg fall back to the earth. And you got it. We're going to do the same thing on the left side. So take your strap. It's going to be around the ball of the foot or the instep, not too far. And again, it may be easier to lay back and kick that leg right up in the air, flexing the foot, and you'll feel stretching the hamstring. This is actually called reclining big toe. So we're reclined, big toes or all the toes are flexed, and we're using the strap to provide some length. So we can kick the foot and we can provide some resistance. So that strap is giving us some resistance so we get to feel the stretch. We'll hold on the count of 3, 2, 1, 0, and we let the leg fall down to the earth. That was a nice job. You can put the straps to the side. We're finished with those for now. Here, still on our back, let's place your soles of the feet on the floor or on your mat, soles of the feet on the ground so the knees are pointed up. And just go ahead and window wiper the knees left to right, left to right. Wash that all away. Okay, we come back to neutral. And this is when I want to do a supported recline position. So you have your block. And I'm going to show you with a pillow what I want you to do with your block. If it feels good, I found that this position, I'm going to give you a block, Dad. And Michaela, you can use that pillow. I'm going to give it to you. And I'm going to demonstrate with the pillow what you want to do with the block. So this is just another recline position that's going to help to open the chest, open the heart a little bit. Miss Mom, this is your block right there. I'm going to use a pillow. So what you're going to do while you're still reclined is that you're going to put the block in under sort of the small of the back. Okay, so it's right above the tailbone. And it should be comfortable. If it's not comfortable, it may be in the wrong place, or it may be a pose that it just doesn't suit your body well. But I find that when it's right under the small of the back, that it opens the chest a little bit. Try and have your legs stretched out in front of you. Does that not feel
Are you
good?
supposed to lie on this like he's doing? Like
Yes,
on
you
top
want to
of
lie
it?
all the way
On top
back.
of it.
Yes, ma'am. And have it under the small of your back. Now it should be touching with the tailbone. If that doesn't feel good, here, you can go ahead and
I
use
don't
this
know how to do
pillow.
it, first of all. Like this.
Mr. Scott, are you comfortable?
I feel like I'm falling over.
It does not, your back is not hurting? Okay, you may want to use this. And it's just a posture just to lie back in and just provide a little bit of opening in the chest.
That's better.
That's better? Okay.
And my legs are
I'm gonna
supposed to be
let
straight
here.
out.
You can use it, and I want to see if you can get that.
Legs
position.
straight out.
You can have your legs straight out and just breathe in this position. Try to release any tension you might feel across the chest. Michaela, you have it in the right place. It should be comfortable when you get there. Like the bottom is the flattest part, hitting the tailbone. Sometimes you have to find the sweet spot. It's not comfortable yet? You should feel, if you're using the block, do you feel a little bit of a stretch or release across the chest, opening of the heart? Should be a little bit. We'll just stay here for a couple more breaths and then we can remove the block. And again, just deep breaths here. Okay, in the next couple of breaths, go ahead and remove the block. You can put it over to the side. And we'll try it again, maybe with a foam block. These have pretty firm blocks. You okay? Okay, good. When you're ready, no rush. Michaela, you can go ahead and remove the block when you're ready. And one more thing I want to do while we're on our backs before we move to seated. Let's bring the left knee in, pull it in, wrap the hands around the knee, and now take the knee a little bit to the right. We're doing a twist. So the knee is going toward the floor. It's okay if the left hip raises. We're taking the left hip over, left knee is going over as far as you can. That does not start to hurt. And if possible, you can look in the other direction. So left knee is going right, and your gaze is off to the left. If that's not comfortable, keep your gaze in the same direction as your knee. And you should feel a stretch on the left hand side, the hip, the left glute. Take a big breath and let's bring it back to center. Bring both knees into the chest and let's just rock it out, back and forth, spinal twist. Are you okay?
Yes.
Okay. Back and forth, spinal twist. This time, right knee is into the chest, left leg stretches out long on the mat, and now we're taking right knee over to the left. Again, so the right body does come off of the mat, left knee towards the floor but not touching, just until you feel a stretch on the right side. And then if you like, you can look off to the right providing that stretch that's going to go up the entire right side of the body, or feel free to look in the direction of the knee. We'll hold for a couple more breaths.
What's that noise? Is that doing?
Then go ahead, bring the knees in, and rock side to side. Again, people outside.
Oh.
Rock side to side. And when you're ready, we will meet seated at the front of the mat. Cross-legged pose at the front of the mat. Whenever you're ready. Okay, I know, it's been a few days. So we may feel a little tightness in the hips, that's okay. It'll work itself out. We're doing yoga, so it'll loosen up in the next 15 minutes that we're together. It's about the time that we have left. On an inhale, take arms overhead. And then let's exhale, float arms down to the side. Take another inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, arms down. Now, we'll do our side twist. Left hand meets right knee. Right hand to the side. Gentle twist to the right. Looking off. Take another breath. Let's meet back in the center. Change hands. Right hand meets left knee. Gentle turn to the left. Couple breaths here. And exhale brings us back to center. Now we'll do some seated cat-cows before we go to standing. So with cat-cow, you can have your hands on your knees. You can have them in front of you. But again, this is when we do that arching and that rounding of the back with cat-cow. And so on an inhale, we arch the back. On an exhale, we round. That's the cat. Inhale, arch the back. Chin is up a little bit. Look down on an exhale and round the back. And keep going like that at the rhythm of your own breath. Inhaling and arching. Exhaling and rounding. So you make sure this is the chest is moving, the arch, and when you're rounding, hollowing the back, the belly button is sort of moving to the spine. Inhale, opening the heart, chest opens. Exhale, rounding the back. Okay, let's take a child's pose. And as I mentioned, you can always come back to child's pose. A couple different ways you can do child's pose. Have the knees together and maybe arms by the side. Or you can have the knees in a V. Knees apart and maybe arms out, which is the more active pose. Either way, this is you want it to be a resting pose, so whatever is most comfortable. You can always come back to child's pose to catch your breath, get recentered, and join us anytime you can. So let's take a couple more breaths. And then we'll meet on the belly, face down on the mat when you're ready. On the mat, you want palms on the mat near the chest. And we've been here before. We're going to do a baby cobra. And so on an inhale, we lift the head, neck, the chest. Everything else is on the floor. Toes are untucked. So the top of the feet are on the floor, helping with your stability. On an exhale, lower. Inhale to cobra. Exhale, lower down. One more. Inhale, let's hold this one. Hold it. Elbow should be in towards the chest. You don't want them to fly out. You want them in towards the chest. Hold, hold, hold. Don't hold your breath. Just hold the pose. And go back to the mat and rest. You can cradle the head with the cheek on the mat. And we'll do a few locust poses before we go to standing in another couple breaths. I know we have some new faces today, so I am going to cue the locust pose. We're on the belly. And in locust pose, arms are by the side. The back of the hand, or I should say hands are facing up, so palms are facing the sky. Toes are untucked. And in locust, on an inhale, we raise everything up like a Superman pose. And so chest is up, head, arms are up, legs are off the ground. Only thing supporting you is lower belly, pelvis. We'll hold for 3, 2, 1, 0, and back down. And I'm going to make sure that we're all doing this okay. On an inhale, let's rise up to locust. And Michaela, you want to keep the knees as straight as you can. There you go. Very good. You don't want any stiffness in the neck. Excellent, Dad. Great locust. Mom, you're doing great. 2, 1, 0, and rest. We'll do one more locust pose. We'll go back to child's pose and then standing. Okay. On your next inhale, we come back to locust. Everything is up, flying through the air. 3, 2, 1, 0, and back down. Either recline there or back to child's pose. And we'll take about 4 breaths to get to a standing position. So if we need a rest for a little bit, we have a little bit of time. If you want to grab a drink of water before we get to our standing poses, that's fine too. I'm going to grab the water. If you don't have yours handy, feel free to get your water. Come back to the mat.
Okay, wait, want water?
And we'll meet standing at the front.
You want water? Yeah, quickly, get some.
Give me that thing.
You want some? Get to the kitchen. Here, I'll help you. Your cup is right behind that door right there.
Yes, take what you need. That's very important, especially in this humidity. So make sure to stay hydrated.
Approximately how many helmets are you doing this week?
Oh, I'd like to do 4. That's
It's
just
bad starting out, isn't it?
No, that wouldn't be
You
bad.
gotta build it over, tell them that.
I'm still taking, go sit down.
What are you up to?
Okay.
Where's Nana?
I think she's in the kitchen maybe. Trying to meet at the top of the mat. In a mountain pose. Back up so everybody has some room. Okay, so we're at the top in our mountain pose. We do a couple shoulder rolls. Let's roll the shoulders back before we get started. Roll them forward. If it feels good, you can move the head from side to side. So the yes, no, make sure to go in both directions here. Go out. And on an inhale, arms will rise overhead, arms, hands reaching to the sky. Baby back bend here. Exhale it down to the floor, forward fold. We'll do a halfway inhale lift. On an exhale, forward fold. On an inhale, arms sweep back up top, reaching tall. Back bend, baby back bend. Inhale, then exhale forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. On an inhale, arms sweep all the way up to standing. And on an exhale, we swan dive all the way down. We'll take one more. Inhale, halfway lift, back is flat here. Exhale, fold forward. On an inhale, arms sweep all the way overhead. And then last time, swan dive all the way down. While we're in this forward fold, sort of ragdoll pose, you can grab the elbows and start to swing side to side, making sure to let the neck relax, let the head hang. Soften the jaw if you feel like you're holding any tightness in the jaw. You can go ahead and grab the mat or take a bind and grab the toes if that's accessible to you. We're just going to stay here in this forward fold for a moment. On an inhale, let's halfway lift. Back is flat. Exhale, fold forward. And let's all meet on the belly once again. And take a couple breaths while we're on the belly. At about 3 or 4 breaths, we're going to meet in our first downward dog, if it's accessible. If not, you can use a prop. You need to use a prop. Use a prop. But take a couple more breaths. And on an inhale, we're going to meet in that upside down V position of downward dog. If you can't do downward dog, or if it's not in your practice today, you can hold on to the couch or chair, hold on to something. But if you are ready, we'll do just one downward dog today. And so if you come into downward dog, that upside down V position, Michaela, you may want to take off your socks. It should be easier for you to, there you go. I just don't want you to slip. And Miss Mom, if you're having a hard time, you can grab onto the back of this because we're going to come into standing position. So in downward dog, go ahead and step to the front of the mat, baby steps, or you can hop to the front of the mat. Let's go ahead and meet into standing. So we went from downward dog to standing. And this is going to be a new pose. I don't think we've done chair pose before. Okay, so we're going to do chair. I got the chair, but it's a seated pose, Utkatasana. And so you can do this 2 ways. You can have the feet hips distance apart, or you can have the toes touching and have a little space between the heels. So whatever's comfortable, because as it suggests, we're going to go down to a seated position. So this may not be comfortable for some knees. If not, don't do it, but I'll show. So this is Utkatasana, or chair pose, also called fierce pose. So what you wanna do, exactly. Dad, you got it. You got your knees bent, feet are parallel, great. Arms just overhead into chair. Michaela, can you bend a little bit? Okay, there you go. Arms are up, and this is called fierce pose. Chair pose, let's just hold for 2, 1, 0, fold forward. Inhale brings us to halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. And an inhale is going to take us back to chair pose. Want to bend in the knee, arms are parallel. Very good. Everyone looks great. Let's take hands to prayer, and we're going to do another twist. And so we're going to twist to the right side, and that left elbow is going to catch right thigh, if you can. If not, go as far as you can. So we're in chair, and we're just going to try and hook that left elbow to the right. Arms are in prayer. If you have the space, you can look over to the right side, or you can look down if you have the space to do so. We'll hold that for 2, 1, 0, and let's go ahead and fall forward. Nice work. Chair pose is not an easy pose. We're going to do one more twist. On an inhale, we do halfway lift. Exhale to fall forward. Inhale back to our chair pose. Knees are bent. I see everyone has feet parallel. Good. Hands can come to prayer. And we turn to the left and try to hook right elbow either over the thigh, if you can get it there, or just to the right side. Gaze can be down to the feet. Gaze can be to the side, or gaze can be over your shoulder. We'll stay here for a couple more breaths and fall forward. Nice work. Let's meet on the floor, on the mat, and take another couple breaths here. And you can rest your cheek on your mat. We're going to get ready to rise to plank. We'll only do plank once today in our practice. If you can, we're going to downward dog. So you can either just go to downward dog, you can rise to a plank pose. And so here you want to tuck the toes, if your toes are flat. Hands are on the mat, or palms are on the mat. You want to push up as if you're doing an actual push-up. Or you can take the knees and move into downward dog. Or you can just meet us at the front of the mat standing, your choice. But this is where we're going to end up. Front of the mat, standing position. Take a drink of water. This is the last standing pose. And we're going to do some familiar poses. We've done chair, that was a new pose. We're going to go ahead and do a tree pose. So everyone is rooted. Again, if you need to roll the shoulders. Here, we're going to take the weight into the left foot and start to get light on the right. And we're going to move the tree. So again, you can have tree pose by the ankle, up near the calf, or if you have the space, up near the thigh. Once you feel comfortable, once you feel rooted, then that tree can rise. You can have hands at prayer. You can have hands up like branches. But again, once you feel rooted, use the wall. And if you come out of it, just get into it. We'll hold it for a couple more breaths. It helps to keep your eye on something standing still. Next breath, exhale, and we can come out as tree. Shake it all out. You can move the legs. On an inhale, start to get heavy in the right foot. Put the weight in the right, light in the left. And plant your tree somewhere. So left foot can go to ankle, calf, or can go to thigh if you have the space. Good. See, Michaela has the space for thigh. I usually stay here in tree. When you feel ready, palms can come to prayer, or those branches can go out. And again, focusing on the balance. Try and keep your eye on something still. We'll stay here for a couple more breaths. And then we can come out. Let's let, on an inhale, arms sweep overhead. Just give ourselves a little back bend. And exhale, fall forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fall forward. And let's all meet on the mat on our backs. Any way you can get there, we'll meet on our backs. And we'll take one more pose. I'm going to go over here. I see everyone is in this direction of their mat. Great. I'll try to cue this, but we're going to do what's called a pigeon pose. Last pose before Savasana on our back. So what you want to do, and actually I'll see if I can talk it. What you want to do, you've got, I think everyone is great. You have knees up, so soles of the feet are on the mat. Great. We're going to take right leg and cross it over left knee. So our right ankle and right foot makes contact with the knee. Okay, so Miss Scott, she looks like she's there. May I demonstrate on you? Tell me if this is okay. So it's almost like a figure four. Okay, bring this leg in a little bit. Okay.
Like this?
Great. Yes, yep, just like that. This is pigeon pose. You can stay there, or if that's enough stretch for you, or what you can do, can I demonstrate again? Here, take the hands and put them behind the thigh. Yep, there you go. Clasp them and then pull the leg up. You could also do that. Oh, keep it bent like that.
You can pull the leg up like this?
And then lay back. You feel another stretch? If you feel the stretch there in the figure four pigeon, that's fine. Or you can put your leg, put hands behind the thigh. Dad, you want to put your hands behind the thigh. Back is on the floor. And you can raise that leg if it's comfortable for you.
Oh, like this?
And that should be, but bend it. There you go. You can raise this leg, Dad, sort of like Michaela's,
Can you alternate?
if you want. And we're gonna go to the other side. When you're ready, we can switch sides. And we're gonna take pigeon, recline pigeon on the other side. So now, right sole meets the earth, right knee is pointing up, and then you've got a figure four on the left with the left ankle across, there you go. And then, yes. So what you want to do, exactly, you got right foot down, left knee, figure four across. Hold that for a couple more breaths, getting a good stretch. And go ahead, release back to the earth. Excellent work. We had a lot of new poses today. Go ahead and stretch the legs out. Arms are heavy by your side. Let's all take a big inhale together. Go ahead, exhale, and take rest. You can start to bring some movement back into the body. Maybe wiggling the fingers, moving the head from side to side. Maybe move the toes around. Take your time. When you're ready, just move to one side, maybe roll to one side. There's no rush. You can stay here in Savasana. Slowly waking up the body. Thank you once again for coming to your mat. Take your time. It is always a pleasure to work with you. Enjoy your yoga today as you take it off the mat and out into the world. Namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste.